Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon for January's Tech Tuesday, which is GIS in your classroom. And we're going to look at what's new, some contests that are available for your learners, and just in general, cool stuff. I am Julie Erickson. I'm a learning specialist at TIE, Technology and Innovation in Education. And so we provide professional development and do lots of different exciting things with technology and education. And so ArcGIS is something that I had not had any experience with until I went to a training a couple years ago, and I love technology and I learned all about ArcGIS online, and it was like, this is amazing. And so we're going to do a little bit of, what is ArcGIS and why would you want to use that in with your students, and also we're going to talk a little bit about the map contest. There is a map contest for states, and many states are participating, including South Dakota. And so we'll look at that and carry on. So as we roll through, you have all the resources for today at bit.ly/TechTuesdayGIS, all one word. And they will stay there, so you can come back to them at any time. And then I will link the archive too, so if you want to share this with colleagues after you're done, you can do that. So rolling on down, we're going to kind of look at there's two big things, ArcGIS Online and the map contest. And so what is ArcGIS Online? Well, for lack of a better explanation, I brought us to the ArcGIS Online help, just because if you're going to share this with colleagues, again, it's nice to have the actual definition. But basically what ArcGIS Online allows us to do is it allows us to create maps and integrate mapping and data along with analyzing that data. And so as we go through and look at some of the resources for education, you can see how that can be used and what that looks like. One of the really cool things is many people have used ArcGIS, the desktop version, and you had to go out and find your layers and upload your layers, and it was really clunky. ArcGIS Online is like magic, and there are thousands and thousands of layers already online, along with lots of analysis and resources that help make everything so much easier to use. So very fun to check it out and learn all about it. And so the other things that we have here, so we're going to, the next resource that I was going to share with you are the different accounts you have access to. ArcGIS Online is provided by Esri, which is a company in California, and they provide education accounts. They also provide ArcGIS Online that you can pay for as a company. And so you'll find many cities have access to this, or organizations. The federal government uses it, like the Forest Service. So you're going to find lots of applications in the real world, quote unquote. You'll also going to find that when we're looking at it from the education perspective, you have a number of options. And so you do not need to have an account to do a lot of the things that we're going to look at today, but you can set up a free public account. And that's great if your learners are old enough to create an account. However, for minors, you have to get parental permission. And so you can use a public shared account that you would create as an educator. The most beneficial is an organizational account. All schools can sign up for a free organizational account, which is amazing, because this is one of the things that if you are in a company that you would pay for. And so this actually has value outside of the education realm. And so the ArcGIS Online accounts. This is a really good handout just to kind of keep in your back pocket and use, and just so you have awareness of that. So what school? So let's look and see who has access to the ArcGIS online account. And so when you get signed up, you have access to a whole suite of training resources. And so I will pull up South Dakota because that's where I'm at. And so you can see all the locations in South Dakota. And Amelia, you're in Montana, and so you can see all of the places in Montana that have. And so when we look here, we can click on it. It's got 2 features. Let's see, is it gonna zoom in for us? There we go. So you have a elementary school has access and a middle school has access in Helena. And so every place that has access, if you don't have access, it's super easy to sign up and get access. And so when we're back on the agenda, just go ahead and click on the sign up for a free ArcGIS online account. And we can explore all of the resources. And you do have to scroll all the way down the page to get to this. If we click on this licensing, it shows you how that works. And so you have the ArcGIS for Schools bundle, and that would be what we're looking at. And so if we scroll on down, it talks a little bit about everything that you get. You get the organizational and user accounts, which allows your learners to create content, layers, analyze data, create maps, all of that in a safe, personal, individual account. You also get access to the web and mobile apps, and so there's Survey 123 is super fun. It's like using Google Forms, but you have the you get to add your data to a map layer, and so that's really neat. You have access to the ArcGIS Community Analyst license, and then you also get the desktop version. And so if you wanted to go to the level of actually using the desktop, so it looks kind of intimidating here because you have to pick, what kind of licenses, how many licenses would I want, and know that they can be reused. And so a lot of times a teacher will set up her, geography classes and have them only go for the 60 kids that she has in geography, or the 120 kids that she has in geography, and then they're use them for that semester, and then come next semester they give them to another student, and so you can kind of gauge. You don't have to have enough for every student in your school, or you can. I mean, there's no penalty for that. And so all to do to request a free bundle is fill this form out. And once you've done that, you will be able to, you'll get your information for setting up your account, along with some support resources like how to set up your account. And so it's really very, very friendly. Why would you want to set up your account? Just because you have access to so many cool things. So this is ArcGIS Online. And when you click on that, you get a map. And from this point, we can do so many things. I mean, you can change your base map. And so if we wanted to see, a lot of people really like imagery with labels because then it looks a lot like Google Maps. But you can add content. And so if we want to, we can go in and add on layers. We also have the ability to if we click on modify map, that's where we have to add layers. And so notice we can search for layers very, very easily. And so we're searching right now ArcGIS Online, and I can search for earthquake. And what's really nice about this now is I can go in and I can find, faults. I can find major earthquake features, major earthquakes. You can see when they were updated, and so you have a lot of information here. And so I'm just going to grab this one. Let's see. This one's by USGS. But so I can add on any layers that I want to add on, and I can say, okay, I'm going to add this one to my map. And now I've added on earthquake faults, and so you can see where all the earthquake faults are. And if I zoom in, I can see that even more clearly. When I'm looking at, so now I can turn this layer on and off. So I have that capability. I can measure, I can add labels, I can do all sorts of crazy things with this, which is really, really nice. So let's move on then, and let's look at the next tab over, which is one of our the instructional resources. So as part of Esri's commitment to education, they are providing schools with all of these resources to use within the education field. So you have geo inquiries, which are my favorite. They are 15-minute instructional activities. They're pre-made, and they come in all these different content areas. And so you have American literature, science, government, upper elementary history, math, and world history, and many of them have a level 1 and a level 2 option. And so what's really awesome about this is when we go in and click on any one of them, and so I'm going to click on, I want US history, and view that collection. These are all designed to be done either with no login, and so they can either be done as the teacher projecting in the front of the room and leading the whole class, or every user can use their own computer. Um, the Many of them now have level 1 and level 2 activities. Level 2 activities actually use the analysis tools in ArcGIS online organizational accounts, and so you do have to have a school subscription with a publisher login for that. But so let's look here at the Dust Bowl. And so all of them are aligned to content standards. They also have been created to be used with, as like as a hook in many situations to get that interest. And so when we're looking at this, you'll see that we have a link. Every one of them comes with their maps with layers. And so this map goes along with the Dust Bowl. And so it has all the layers that you need, everything that you need to analyze the Dust Bowl. And so when we go through here, we can see, where was the population? And so we can look at the map and we can see that the population was, and, looking at this, it's like, I need the legend because I don't know what that means. And so if I click on the layer over here, I can get to the legend and I can see the population. And so, oh, look, the darker green, the higher the population. Okay, so the population looks like it's in Southern California and Central California, and also on the eastern side of all these states. And so then we pop back over to the geo inquiry, and we go through and it tells us what layers to turn on, what layers to turn off, and there are a number of different layers in here. And so we see the change of counties and farms. We see all of that as we go through this geo inquiry. So it's really, it's very enlightening to be able to see. So here's the population change. Here's the percent of farms in 1930. If I turn that layer on, we can see the farms in 1930. And then if we want to see the growth in farms from 1930 to 1940, you can see, and they explain less than 100% is a reduction in farms. And so you can see where the farms have decreased. And so this is just one of the geo-inquiries, but what's great about all of the geo-inquiries is they come with a map, with layers, they come with guided questions, and so you don't have to try to figure out what layers to use, what questions to use. You can just take this and run. And then there's resources to be able to modify these and kind of hack them if you want to change them for yourself. So the geo inquiries are probably my favorite curriculum resources that are out there, but there's more curriculum resources. You also have access to Mapping Our World, and that's for the middle school and above. And so these are worksheets and teacher materials. And so when you download these, you get, depending on which one you download, you'll see like here's the measurement topic 1 with the teacher materials. Here's the student directions. Here's the student directions, and here's the answer sheet. And so you have the different resources there. You also have thinking spatially, which is for elementary. You have access to the ArcGIS books, teaching with GIS, which are lessons to use in the classroom. And these are so fun because they give you a curriculum builder and an implementation guide. And so you can go through and pick what works best for you. And then finally, there is Learn ArcGIS. And these lessons are excellent too, especially as you're learning more about the analysis tools. You can go in and learn all about ArcGIS and explore hands-on real-world activities. So the curriculum resources are extremely interesting. So it's very easy to create a free public account. So if you want to do more with ArcGIS before you've signed up for your organizational account, you can create a free public account. And then you can do the Teaching with ArcGIS class, which is really, it's a self-paced class, and it guides you through and it gives you just lots of information in terms of what teaching with GIS looks like and why you'd want to use it in your classes. In addition, I've given you guys links to some of the resources that you have access to. Maps We Love are just Esri's maps that they've pulled out. And so this is something that changes based on, what they've found. And you can go in and check out all of these maps. And so they are just incredible maps that people have created. And then story maps, and story maps are what we are using for our map contest. And so story maps tell a story. And so here, like, they have the story map of the month, but if you scroll on down, you'll get like their favorite community story maps of 2018, our favorite team story maps. They have lots of different maps that they give for samples. And so the story maps are one of my favorite resources because, like I said, they do tell a story. And what's great about the story maps is they give you tutorials. And so when to go to create, so I clicked on the apps up here, you can see the different kinds of story maps. And I could just say I'm going to build a story map tour, or I can view a gallery of them so I can see exactly what they look like, or I can check out the tutorial and it's going to guide me through. And so all of the different formats have the same options there. So that's really helpful. And then if you want to know more, incorporate this even more into your education, they've put together an incredible amount of resources to help with incorporating this into the classroom. And so the ArcGIS Online 5x5 is a great activity to introduce ArcGIS Online to learners. There's the link to the geo-inquiries. There's resources for teaching with GIS. There is different activities here for mapping our world. So you have access to a number of different resources that can be beneficial. So that leads me to the map contest. And so first and foremost, we want to look real quick and see, is your state participating? And so the easiest way to do that is to go and click on item number 2, and you'll see all the states that are participating in the map contest for 2018-19. And so you'll see Montana is not participating, but Wyoming, South Dakota, and I don't believe that it is all over. I mean, I think you can, if you inquired, you could probably find out if you could sign up. So you can see in 27-18, South Dakota participated and we had entries. In 2016-17, we participated, but we had no entries. And so it is one of those things that does take time to build up the interest and get people to participate. Not that it's hard, it's just one more thing. And so for South Dakota this year, we started, it launched in October, and so people can sign up. We do, we are working, we offered a training in the fall, and we're working with various teachers that are interested in incorporating GIS in their classrooms and encouraging them to sign up for the contest. And so basically, every teacher, every school needs to register, and so one teacher per school. And so they just need to register here on the teacher registration, and then they'll get the notifications and the information. We changed the age level this year, and so it is from 4th grade through 8th grade is middle school, and 9 through 12 is high school. You can have teams of 2. We are looking for story maps, and the theme is South Dakota on the map. And so it can be anything about South Dakota. You know, it could be about your town, it can be about something South Dakota wide, it can be about resources. So basically, options there are totally endless. And so lots of exciting things coming down for that. So,
Hey, Julie.
yeah.
Real quick, do you have to be a school to participate in this?
You do not actually.
Okay.
Like we can have homeschoolers participate. We can take up to 5 entries per school. And
Mhm.
so if we have more than 5 entries, you will have to have have judging at your school, and then go from there. Does
Okay,
that make
but
sense?
yeah. But if you're like you're homeschooled or if you just don't want to enter through your school, you can just enter as a freelancer, I guess, or a freestanding association.
Um, yes. I mean, we need somebody to organize it from
Okay.
from an organizational point. But yes, that would be
Okay.
okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's been really exciting, and we've had a lot more interest this year. So I'm hoping we get some really good entries, and it is a big year for the Esri, because what happens is the individual state winners get to go to the national conference, and so it's a big year for at Esri, and so I'm kind of hoping that we have winners and we can actually send South Dakota students to the state or to the national competition. Oh, well, that is really we're about at the end of our time, and so that was really the all the information. But I really wanted to make sure you guys know all about signing up for an ArcGIS organizational account and all of the curriculum resources. It is just such a wonderful resource to be aware of.